Hello students! Today we continue studying Unit 1, Legend or Truth, and the theme of the lesson is just the same, Legend or Truth. Read please the key learning objectives of the lesson. And we start our lesson with some grammar. Guess the meaning of the phrasal verbs in bold in these questions. Number 1. Do you always remember to pass on messages to other people? Number 2. Do you ever make up excuses to avoid doing things you don't want to do? Three. Have you ever been to a party that turned out to be really boring? Four. What would you do if you ran over a cat in your street? Five. If you saw a man running away from the police, would you try to stop him? Six. Do you find it easy to work out what is happening when you watch a film in English? Seven. Are any children you know rude to their parents? If so, do they get away with it? Now check yourself. Write down these phrasal verbs into your vocabulary. Pass something on. Make up. Turn out. Run over. Run away. Work out. Get away with. Legend or truth? It must be true. Urban legends are funny, surprising, or scary stories that are told again and again, often by people saying that they happened to a friend of a friend. Most urban legends are stories that people have made up, but not always. A few turn out to be completely true, and others are based on actual events, but facts have been exaggerated to make them sound more interesting and shocking. Now let's learn some active vocabulary. Repeat after the speaker. Investigation. Lump. A cockroach. Oil-soaked seals. An implication. Contemporary. Crop up. Contamination. a sewer, underneath. Significance: irrelevant. Now please write down the words into your vocabulary. So you're going to listen to a text, and you have an opportunity to watch it also on the screen. Please use your active vocabulary to understand the text.
The rise and rise of urban legends. So, there's this girl who eats a hamburger from her local fast food restaurant. A week later, she goes to the doctor with a huge lump in her cheek. After a lengthy investigation, it's found that she had been bitten by a pregnant cockroach, which had been hiding in her hamburger. She now has hundreds of cockroach eggs growing in her cheek. You don't believe it? OK, try this one. After the Exxon Valdez oil spill in Alaska, hundreds of oil-soaked seals were cleaned and saved at an average cost of $80,000 per animal. At a special ceremony, 2 of the animals were symbolically released back into the wild, while hundreds of people looked on and cheered. A minute later, in full view of everyone, they were both eaten by a killer whale. You might have heard one, if not both, of these stories before. They are both classic examples of urban legends, and stories like these have become such an integral part of modern life that there can't be anyone left who doesn't know what they are. But just in case you have somehow managed to miss them, let me quickly fill you in. Urban legends, or urban myths, as they're commonly known in the UK, are stories that are quickly passed on by word of mouth or electronically. They can be about anything and everything, although certain topics will crop up time and again. Some favourites are crime and horror, schools and universities, cases of food contamination and the internet. These stories, often incredible, horrific or funny, are always told as if they are true, and usually happen to a friend of a friend. However, although occasionally they may really have happened, they will usually have been entirely made up. Perhaps the best definition of an urban legend is that it's a story that's too good to be true. People started using the term urban legend more than 70 years ago, but it was only in the 1990s that the term really came into use. Opinions differ, but many experts believe that the alligator story was the grandfather of the modern legends. You must have come across the tale about a colony of huge alligators that lived deep down in the sewers underneath New York City. They can be traced back to stories from the 1930s, which told how New Yorkers would bring back baby alligators with them from their holidays in Florida, only to flush them down the toilet when they got too big. Despite a number of claims, no one has ever been able to provide any photographic proof. Well, this is hardly surprising when you consider that a baby alligator wouldn't last a day in the freezing sewer system of New York. These days, the spread of the internet, and in particular social networking sites, has given urban legend tellers an immediate audience of millions, and they have never been more popular. There are now even websites dedicated to investigating the truth behind the thousands of urban legends circulating in cyberspace. Is it true that a man died when he fell asleep with his laptop still on, causing the machine to overheat and set fire to his bed? Have people really been killed by lightning while talking on the phone during a thunderstorm? You can find the answers to these and other questions on the internet.
Now try to remember the information you've just heard. Complete the spaces from A to D in the text with clauses from 1 to 5. There is one clause you do not need to use. Write your answers in your copybook. And the last task, you have 1.5 minutes to answer the questions. Do it in written form. Don't forget to send your answers to the teacher for evaluation. And finishing our lesson, agree or disagree with the statements. I remember most of the new words from today's lesson. I can use these words in my speech and understand in context. I've learned some new information about urban legends. If most of your answers are positive, then you've done well today. If not so, you may watch this video again and do your best. The lesson is over. Goodbye, guys.